The city of Portland is done with repairs to a broken sewage pipe underneath the North Columbia Boulevard Bridge, but they say a detour will remain in place for another month. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Adams. Our Sydney Dorner spoke with PBOT. Now, Sydney, what are they doing to maintain this area that sees so much freight traffic?
Yes, John, if you've ever been to the North Columbia Boulevard overpass, you know it's a pretty industrial area. This week, city crews repaired a broken pipe that released sewage under the bridge. Even though PBOT was able to contain the sewage, they want more time to investigate how bad the damage actually is. On March 21st, a pressurized sewer pipe broke under the North Columbia Boulevard Bridge. A week later, city crews were able to locate and patch the rupture, with the final repairs finishing up this week.
Being able to repair that sewer main and secure the pipe was a major accomplishment in this project, but there's a lot more work to be done.
Work that PBOT thinks will take until late May. Until then, a detour will remain in place on North Marine Drive as crews investigate the extent of damage.
This bridge and the embankment that supports the ramp, they all have to be able to withstand a lot of heavy freight traffic, 18-wheelers every day.
In order to reach that long-term durability, they are rebuilding a damaged section of the embankment by installing layers of concrete.
It's like the layers of a cake. We're making a cake with many layers, and unfortunately, we're not able to put all the layers in the oven at the same time.
Right now, pedestrians and cyclers are still welcome to cross. Drivers should take North Portland Road and Marine Drive as their detour route. As PBOT investigates weaknesses under the bridge, they may need to do more work, which will, of course, take more time.
We really need to make sure the facility is safe for the traveling public before we reopen it.
Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
Well, turning now to weather, a chilly and wet day across the Rose City today. Joe, just kind of nasty out there all day today. Any chance we're going to have a drier day on Sunday?
We have different versions of what nasty is. I wouldn't call the day nasty, but to each their own. And yeah, we are going to be seeing more cool and showery conditions heading into your Sunday, but we're not going to be seeing, showers from 1 hour after the other, and we're going to be seeing spotty showers heading into tomorrow. But with that said, we're going to continue to see some wet conditions on the rest of your Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Over in Lincoln City right now, we're seeing a temperature of 53 degrees. Along with those showers, we could see the potential of some thunderstorms develop tonight in a few locations. Cool and showery for Sunday. I know that's really been the forecast over the next few days, but slowly getting warmer by the later part of next week. Not to get too excited, though, we're not going to be seeing a major warm up with temperatures in the mid to the upper 70s. It's going to be right around the mid 60s, so just a few degrees above average. But this is what we're picking up on the radar right now. You can pick up a little bit of some greens out there. That is just the scattered showers. And meanwhile, over the mountains, I need to check real quick before I get into my detailed forecast, but how much snow has fallen. But it's been pretty heavy at times here the last couple of hours throughout the mountains. As we go into tonight, those snow showers will continue. Expect to see a little bit of some lingering snow showers into tomorrow morning. Snow level will drop down to about 3,000 feet. Don't expect to see much in terms of accumulation. And we are going to be seeing more warmer conditions heading in the middle part of next week. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. A Southeast Portland cannabis store is closed today after the business was robbed at gunpoint Friday night. It happened just before 9 at Eden Cannabis on Southeast 12th Avenue. Police say the suspect hit a person with their pistol and left before police were called to the scene. The store owner tells us they've been robbed dozens of times and believe that it could be the same person. Police tell us detectives have, quote, a lot of work to do to prove any connection. No one has been arrested. A Portland police K-9 helped stop a possible drug trafficker. The Bureau says K-9 Sitch helped members of a drug task force intercept nearly 20 pounds of powdered fentanyl during a highway stop. Officers also seized 76,000 counterfeit pills containing fentanyl. The Bureau says the drugs were headed for the Portland Metro. Investigators have released their report on Mount Hood Senior Living in Sandy more than 2 months after its shutdown. They found a series of failures and red flags at the memory care facility, leading to the death of a resident this past Christmas. 83-year-old Ki Soon Hyun walked out of the facility just 2 days after moving in. The report found the owner of the facility had no experience in this line of work and hired unqualified employees. The lead investigator says state regulators should have picked up on these red flags prior to Huon's death and should have responded more quickly afterwards.
Despite the requirement in state law that they respond immediately and without undue delay, is the phrase, it took them 28 days to respond. Then when they did take urgent action, it was in a way that is contradictory to the expectations of state law.
The Department of Human Services disagreed with much of that report and defended its decision to shut down the facility on a Friday, giving residents only a day to move out. It says it was their best option to protect them from potential serious harm. Tillamook's police chief will have to give up law enforcement. It's part of his sentence for taking drugs and money from the evidence locker. Raymond Rao pleaded no contest to 2 charges of official misconduct. He was accused of removing drugs and money between October of 2021 and May of 2023. He was sentenced to 10 days in jail in order to give up his officer certification, which means he can no longer work as a police officer in the state of Oregon. He must also pay the city $800 in restitution. Oregon City Police asked for help identifying this man. They say just before midnight on Friday, he kicked the Oregon City municipal elevator, breaking it and causing more than $1,000 in damage. The city is offering a $500 reward for information that leads to the suspect's arrest and conviction. We're about a month and a half away from the Oregon primaries. A growing coalition intends to use that election to send a message to President Biden. It's called Uncommitted Oregon and is part of a nationwide campaign related to the war in Gaza. In the Democratic primary, participants plan to write uncommitted instead of choosing President Joe Biden or some other candidate.
We're using that as a message, as a protest vote, as an urging to President Biden to do the right thing, to do the moral thing. And our demands are really simple: immediate and permanent ceasefire.
Well, this pediatric nurse says she's part of 2 groups, Healthcare Workers for Palestine and Jewish Voice for Peace Action, which are joining Uncommitted Oregon. She says the coalition also demands unrestricted humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza. And a heads up for transit riders, a stretch of the Max Blue line will be closed starting this Sunday. The disruption will affect 5 stations between East 172nd Avenue and Civic Drive in Gresham. Shuttle buses will run every 15 minutes. Now, this is also TriMet can make improvements to an old rail crossing in the area. The disruption will last through next Saturday, April the 13th. And a long-running swap meet is taking place this weekend at the Portland Expo Center. A group of local car clubs partnering together to host the 58th Portland Auto Swap Meet. Since 1964, this event has been home for everything automotive. Organizers and attendees say you can find a range of cars, car parts, and other accessories for sale. Others enjoy the opportunity to meet fellow enthusiasts.
I have a 60 Comet. And it got backed into, an Amazon truck backed into it. So I'm actually looking for some trim. So it can be difficult to find, but this is the place to find it if I'm going to find it. So
I think the thing I look forward to the most is it's kind of like one big family reunion. All the hot rod people, we all show up here, so you get to see all your friends.
The swap meet runs Sunday from 8 to 1. Tickets are $5 and free for children 12 and under.